Hey, what's up, guys? Stock Catcher here. Today, there's a lot of interesting stocks to go over. If you're new to the channel, I share trader days every day, and I have a great community live stream from pre-market to after hours. I have custom scanners as well as I try to help out, right, for YouTube members. So, first stock for the video, DVLT. DVLT, this is a stock that I have been going over for a while now, and if you're looking at it, this does definitely look like a multi-day setup. This stock has been trending actually a lot on social media. I've been seeing on Reddit. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it. So basically going over real quick about the fundamental aspect, right? DVLT for Q3 2025, the revenue was about 2.9, close to $3 million. But the percentage wise, this is a 148% increase year over year. That's really nice, right? And they're setting their ambitions for 2026 revenue above $200 million. And they also announced a multi-million-dollar agreement, right? So DVLT, this is a stock that also has that angle when they're talking about a real world asset, RWA tokenization, right? And the catalyst that actually I think that is causing a lot of volume as well as causing a lot of FOMO in a way would be the Dream Bull 2026 meme coin. This is eligible to shareholders. Record date set as November 25. So this is this coming week, right? DVLT, this one, you do want to see those previous resistance levels hold, since this did make already a really big move up concerning the stock. If you look at the chart, right, the stock used to be significantly lower. This used to be in the pennies, right? You could check the chart. In September, this was only 25 cents. And then it ended up just ripping face all the way to $4.10. In terms of percentage, that's a really big gain. So we're going to be monitoring DVLT. Next stock, IVP. So IVP, this is a inspired veterinary partner. So this is a micro penny, right? And when talking about stock, any stock under 25 cents or 30 cents, I consider micro penny. The price action on them is definitely more thicker, considering there's decimal points, right? If you're trading them, if you check the level 2, it's very, very thick. It's not the same as trading a stock that's, let's say, for example, $5 or $3, right? They're way more thicker. So basically, this company launched a plan to roll out an online pet pharmacy, expected to begin in Q1 2026. So this is recent. I mean, this is not far from now, right? So their net loss, fundamentally speaking, narrowed by about 27% compared to the prior year quarter. And I did some quick research about the vet market, right? The pet vet market, the global sales is projected to reach over $52 billion by 2030. It's a big market potential, and you're talking about pets as well, right? If you're watching this video, you most likely own a pet or you owned a pet in the past. And it's a very big part of society as well as a part of life. IVP regained compliance with the NASDAQ stock market minimum stockholders equity listing requirement. So IVP, I'm going to be watching this one closely. And a lot of you guys, I think a lot of people that follow me also messaged me about this, saying that they have it or they're thinking about this stock, right? Next stock is PTN. This stock had made a really big move up yesterday. If you look at the price action, it just kept extending upwards after the initial run up. It actually ended up halting up, and then it halted down, but then it reclaimed over, and then it tested those previous resistance level. So PTN, this one actually had substantial activity in its obesity and ocular disease program. PTN is actually working under collaboration with Boehringer Ingelheim in retinal disease. They're receiving milestone payments. So if you don't know what this company is, it's actually a global pharmaceutical company founded in Germany in 1885. This is one of the largest pharmaceutical company, and we're talking about Germany as well as the largest private one. So that's really interesting factor, right? PTN, this one I will be monitoring closely on the next week price action, right? So next stock will be UMAC. UMAC, this stock is gaining attention on social media as well. I'm seeing this stock trending. So this is basically like a U.S. military defense drone angle, and when you're talking about the sector, it's really hot. I've said many, many times that drone, U.S. defense, this sector is going to get a lot of traction in my opinion. So this company is basically, they're actively scaling manufacturing capacity, right? As well as expanding manufacturing, raising capital. Because the thing with this sector is that a lot of times they need cash. And it's not just about this sector, but in terms of small caps, if you own any small caps for longer term, we're talking like weeks or months, This is a factor that a lot of people have to understand, is that most of these small caps, they don't have a crazy amount of cash. They oftentimes they raise money, they oftentimes they have shelf, and they need cash because most of the time their ideas are great, right? For example, if you're owning a small cap stock and you do research on it, it might sound really good, the thesis, but in terms of practicality, in terms of the economic, like the financial situation, most of the time they end up bleeding, and then they end up, they dilute or reverse split, or, and then end up not making the best, price action, right? So UMAC, what I would recommend, not financial advice, if you're interested in the stock, is to monitor their next quarter revenue, as well as look at their margin trends, right? Next stock, MNDR. So MNDR, this stock has made a really parabolic move, in my opinion, the past couple of days. And this is a stock that they announced a memorandum of understanding to acquire two AI optimized data center in Malaysia. So MNDR, this is a stock that's forming a multi-day setup. You want to see those previous resistance levels hold. And this stock actually had insider activity. The co-CEO and the chair, they recently purchased more shares. So this is a stock that I'm going to be looking at closely, right? Next stock, EPSM. EPSM, the multi-day angle is just like MNDR, in my opinion, where this stock constantly reclaims those levels in a way that's kind of like soaking action, right? And when you see a stock like that, it's a headache for short sellers, right? If you're shorting a stock and then it ends up reclaiming those levels, and it's just constantly getting soaked by buyers, so that's not a good thing for bears, right? Because that usually leads to a squeeze or leads to a swipe up, right? So EPSM, they reported expansion into European market. They said a strategic partnership, as well as they're basically trying to make an effort to streamline operations as well as their cost management, right? So EPSM, this was the one that I recommend you add to your watch list as well. There's only a few stocks left. Next one, PSTV. PSTV, this is a stock that I made many videos on. They keep releasing good news, and looking at the price action, it definitely is more thicker, right? I said earlier in the video, when you're talking about penny stocks under $1, most of the time, you have to remember that their price action is much more like decimal points, like thick, right? Hope people understand what I'm saying. So for PSTV, the DBOR Capital actually maintained a buy rating. This is a price target of $5, as well as they also had news recently, right, with Humana, effective October 29. So this has coverage for approximately 16 million additional people. That's a lot of people, right? And this is one that I recommend you keep an eye on. Next stock would be BITF, Bitfarms. So Bitfarm, this stock, if you look at it right now, it's right near that base level. This is a really interesting level, considering that BITF actually they announced a strategic pivot, converting one of its Washington mining sites into a high-performance computing AI data center by December. So we're talking within a few weeks, by December of 2026, my bad. So I meant next year. So they're basically targeting infrastructure to support NVIDIA and with events liquid cooling. So BITF actually closed a large financing deal as well, priced US $500 million in convertible senior note. So looking at the price action, the technical wise, this does not look the best. I mean, it's kind of like a head, that pattern, the head and the bearish pattern. But looking at the base level, this is interesting for me because this stock also is a lot of social media attention, and as well as it's in the right sector, right? We're talking about high performance computing as well as AI data center. So next stock, CRML, critical metals, right? So I talked about this many times in the past, where metal stock, these mineral or even EV battery, I don't think that they're going to go away anytime soon. So CRML completed an all-share transaction to acquire about 40 kg of ultra high purity copper. So basically, this is intended, in my opinion, this is intended for high-end applications. We're talking about defense, aerospace, or even semiconductors, right? Or we're talking about advanced manufacturing. CRML, again, this is just like BITF. This had a lot of social media presence, but it's right at the base level, because I want to cover each part, right? In my videos, technical, catalyst or fundamental, and psychological. Most people, they only focus on one when they're trading or when they're talking about stocks. If you go to most people, right? So that's why I've been doing stocks for many years, and I make it my best effort to focus on multiple, right? The more the more variables you have, right, is better. So last stock for the video, NUAI. So this is another AI infrastructure data center angle play. So NUAI signed an option to purchase 3,500 acres in New Mexico, right, for a plan for 7 GW AI data center campus. NUAI, this is another stock that's a multi-day setup. If you go to technical chart, it's right near that support level, and I will be monitoring this closely because these stocks that used to run together, right? Remember NUAI, DVLT, and VTS. These stocks are used to run around the same time period. If you go to the 1 hour chart, you could confirm. And this is right near that support level. You could verify yourself. And I'm going to be looking if the stock breaks over that previous resistance and then makes it as new support for a multi-day action, right? So that's pretty much for the video, guys. I know that this week definitely has been harder if you're a bull. And I do anticipate it getting a lot easier, a lot more fun, a lot more volume very soon. Probably this week might be still choppy because remember, Thanksgiving's coming up. And usually when a week is short, there could be less volume. I mean, there is less volume usually, as well as there's less news. But hopefully there will be some crazy runners because I did trade in the past around the holidays. It was crazy, I think, right? All right, Stock Catcher signing out. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning, guys.